Welcome to Carole in Italy for our final match of the European Ultimate Championship Finals, the pinnacle of the European club season. And it's Salaspils and Grut in the mixed division, Tom Styles, alongside Becky Thompson, who's been competing this weekend here in Carole. Beautiful airport fields, and Becky, the mixed division has been really hot this weekend, very competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an exciting weekend all around. So many close games coming right down to the wire. This division has proved why it is one of the most exciting to watch here this weekend, and we are sure to have a good final here as well, Tom.
And these two teams met in pool play on the opening day of the tournament.
Yeah, and that one, Salaspils came away with the win pretty convincingly, 15-7. Just got to look at the toss there. Salaspils will be starting this game on offense, and Groot really struggled in that pool play game. They like to send their women deep. Salaspils was dropping off one of their male players to take that option away, so they're really going to have to adjust for this game.
Yeah, Grut were disappointed with the way they played in that opening game. Salaspils said they pretty much made no mistakes. It was as best as they could do. And you always find when two teams have played each other once already in a tournament, that second time round, there's some big questions to be asked for the team that won. And Grut, the team to do those questions asking. One of the youngest, most exciting teams in Europe, came out of the Dutch youth program, and they've been competing at this European Championship final level since 2016, when they made their first final in Frankfurt. I was lucky enough to be on the sideline for doing the commentary for that game as well.
Yeah, and they've really been building through playing the World Club Championships last year as well. Lots of experience under their belt despite being such a young team. They are missing a few key players this weekend, Tom. They've got a few injuries, like of Benjamin Ort, Fleur Coulert's also out to injury, but they've been proving themselves nonetheless that they have the depth on their roster to come all the way through to the final.
Yeah, do look out for Lola Dam in the 4 shirt. She's going to be making plays for days. And Anna Minard, one of the youngest members of the team, still only 17. She was out in Frankfurt doing her thing as a 14-year-old. Originally started putting together some indoor performances when she was just 12 with this group of players. So she already has a lot of experience, won't be shaken by the occasion at all. But there's like you say, there's a few injuries out there. The Salaspils side got depth from both the men and the women. The men bringing together that Salaspils team that competed so well at the European Championship Finals last year, and then twinning up with so many of the women from the under 24 team, and also Latvia competing on the beach only in the women's division this year, and 8 members of that team that competed on the beach are here playing for Salaspils. The pull from Grut rises through the Italian sky, not fielded immediately by Gussars, but he majorly gets it straight away to Kubliczka. Kubliczka finds Otisons down the line and immediately advances it to Abel Tinch. Flowing well to Gulbe. Going downwind, the wind on our backs, coming from behind the camera across the field. Kubliczka squeezes in at the front point, and it's a clean, fast offensive look for the Salaspils to get the game underway.
No surprises there to see Kubliczka getting the first point on the board here for Salaspils. She's been having an outstanding weekend as well, and they made pretty easy work of that there, Tom. Easy passes up the pitch, got stalled a little bit on that far sideline, but then those inside flick shots are an absolute backbreaker here.
So Bert Manis, low grab, low flick, and Kubliczka cutting from the back of the end zone. Eurostars is a tournament that takes place over in the USA. Beck's fourth is the organizer and captain of that. One of the GB captains on the women's team for many, many years, now over in Texas. And she puts together this high-level tour of the USA, going to the best female teams around North America. And I think it was 18 players from Europe have been going over there and competing against those teams. And this year, only one team were able to put the game past the Eurostars. So very high performance. Kubliczka part of that lineup. I've seen very many other Eurostars out here in Carole, but Grut's O-line with Dam in the middle of the field, Janssen coming underneath. And there we see Minard as well. Minard looking deep, looking for something up line, and there's Dam for the reset, sprinting away from Museka. That's going to be a good matchup to watch. The 77 shirt for Latvia, that long blonde ponytail, very distinctive. A big disc goes up flying high, and a takedown from the defense. Maldaris says no, denying the first point for Janssen. Art set now for Salaspils, the Latvians, with an opportunity to break in this opening defensive point for them. Big shot going upfield, Lola Dam underneath it, but it's drifting towards the far side of the field. High grab there, brilliant read, Maldaris into the end zone, and Salaspils get away with a perfect start, holding their offense easily, and then breaking Grut at the first time of asking.
And Maldaris there, he baited that play on defense. He wanted that huck to go up, picked it out of the air, and then was immediately striking the other direction. It's showing us that the Latvians here are going to take advantage of those turnovers, and the defense is going to have to adjust a lot faster if they're going to catch up with the play.
Brilliant takedown defense from Maldaris in the end zone, denying Janssen, and then coming back up the other way here. Dam was in a good spot, but the wind took it over her head, coming from the camera side of the field, and just shooting it into the end zone to Bert Manis.
Dam did everything she could in that position. Unfortunately, the easy 7 cut into the end zone there at the end as well. Salaspils making it look pretty simple in the first couple points, and talk about the number of injuries on this Groot team as well. Lola Dam playing a lot of points this weekend. They only have 5.5 or so healthy women, as they've put it. They had one of their players who had her appendix taken out on Tuesday as well, so she's come back to play but not fully healthy yet. So they've been working really hard and grinding through these points, and we'll see how that carries out throughout the course of the game.
I see on the far side of the field, Jetta Bardol is one of the injured players, got a sore knee, but she's cleated up, making it look like they do have more women. Perhaps that won't throw Salaspils. They probably will have done their scouting. See the wind affecting that disc from Janssen. It's been sent deep, bit of barging in the end zone, but it's going to be red. And will there be a foul call there? No, just running away. It was well before the disc arrived. Marcia Kulen, no call from her. We'll see any disc with the edge up towards the camera is going to get caught. Ned Garvey for Salaspils. Gets it to Maldaris. Deep in the end zone now. Kasparans gets it out to the wing. Just the guys involved from Salaspils at the moment. Further downfield, cutting up now is Gusari. Been looked off though. Garvey, again the target, down that sideline. And now out to the deep space comes Mosheka. It's going to be a bit of Grut pressure, but it makes it to Mosheka, who quickly drives it inside to Dramane. Out on that far side again, Kasparans, and a block on a pick call. Baston de Jong getting the block.
I think the pick call was before he released the disc there, Tom. You can see the huge foot block there from de Jong, but I'm not sure it would affect the outcome of the play here, so it looks like there will be no call, retracted pick call, and Groot will get the disc.
They need to score this one. Do not want to be on the wrong end of a 3-0 scoreline at the start of the game. Just checking the disc is okay. It looks like it is. Walking up, cheered Ates. Quick disc to Minard. Kulen cutting. Disc goes back down the line to Baum. Baum back to Minard. Return disc to Baum again. He's got Janssen on this near side. Janssen looks deep. Big flailing fake. And back into the hands of Minard again. Kulen, this time she is found. Quick dish off. Baum, low disc. Ates available. Looks up the line. Good cut from Janssen. Janssen floats to the disc, is going to be caught in the air. De Jong the target, he pulls it out of the sky for a point for Grut. Steadying the ship. De Jong getting the foot block, getting the score as well.
And they were much more patient with their offense on their second opportunity. They had multiple chances where they could have put that disc long. They had a few cutters going. They holstered it instead, worked it up the field, and by the time they got closer to the end zone, they then opted to take that big around flick shot looking for De Jong in the end zone. You can see the replay there of his massive foot block earlier in the point and then finding himself some separation here. The disc maybe catching the wind just enough to pull it away from the defender, but well read by De Jong, who reels in the first score here for the Dutch side.
I really like that adjustment from Janssen. He's had one throw being affected by that wind, but that time just let the wind be helping his throw. Some fairly significant clouds in front of us. But so far, it's been a pretty lovely weekend here. We're about an hour up the coast from Venice on the flat plateau that edges onto the Venetian lagoon. And the airport fields. This is an airstrip normally, but a different type of flying going on this weekend as Salaspils come down, getting a bit of body action from the Grut defense. Kublicka swings it back to Grabe through the middle. Albertinch. It's a pit call. It's going to be brought back quickly. Eva Grabe. Coming back in now. Gets it across quickly to Otisons, who caught that final point in the semi-final against Putti. They won yesterday. Very, very close match. Grut beating Deep Space in their semi. Ates taps back in. Gusars up the line. Down the line, big bid coming. Both players jumped. Neither player had a read. This time the wind not affecting the disc. It would have pushed it down in that position, but Mark Plug fishing the Salaspils offensive receiver into an early jump.
And sometimes that's all you need to do on offense or defense. Just draw that offender in front of you, make them have to make a play early.
Looking at a high stall count here, sending it across the sky. Lola Dam underneath it, but it's well dealt with by Lasma. Kublicka gets the disc back for Salaspils. Caught in the wind a little bit, but Grabe reads it, dishes it back. Salaspils working around the outside. Otison's running. Kublicka in the end zone. Big diving defensive bid. Dishes it back. Looking for a shot down the line. Big bid comes flying in again. Grut throwing the bodies on the floor here, but Otisons comes up with it. Salaspils, by the skin of their teeth, do hold after a lot of pressure from Grut.
The defense there doing everything they could to get a hand onto the disc, but Salaspils' patience near the end zone once again. Didn't go for the crossfield shot, worked it up this near sideline. You see the D there from Kublicka. Another great matchup between Lola Dam and Kublicka there, and then squeezing it through the narrow gap. Not enough a touch to change direction. Salaspils are making it look still relatively easy here, Tom.
Yeah, Bram Steenhuisen getting the little fingertips to it, dived at the disc, the number 8 shirt. Got a little wobble, but not enough. Otisons happy to see that one as it's vibrated its way into his hands. 3-1 start, just that one break in it at the moment.
Getting a shot there on your screen of Kuf's shout. The women's team out of Bologna in Italy. They won the women's division a short time ago, and their men's team as well, taking home the gold earlier this morning in an upset over Clapham. So 2 golds for Italy so far today. Just waiting to see who will take the gold in the final game of the tournament. Well,
we're all looking forward to seeing the Bologna mixed side enter next year's club championships. I don't think there is one at the moment. They very much focus on the single gender divisions, but they have enough players out of that city to put together a very competitive side. We'd love to see them come and compete here. The young team from the Netherlands, Grut. Basten de Jong opens up the shoulder. Lola Dam the target. Muzeka in hot pursuit, but Lola Dam streaks free. Basten de Jong with all the power required to find the number 4 receiver free in the end zone. And a 2-pass hold for Grut.
No hesitation there from de Jong to hit Dam. Dam had so much separation going towards the end zone, and we talked about the defensive adjustments that Salaspils was going to make in this game that they've made previously. There was no help defense dropping off back there with Dam, so a great job here from de Jong to recognize how much separation she had and hit her right away.
But Santa Moseka was not giving up the chase there. One of the more senior members of the Salaspils team, but showing the athleticism, chasing down young Lola Dam. Average age of this Grut side is 20 and a half, just to give you some perspective. It used to be 17 and a half a couple of years ago, because they really have kept with the same personnel. Martia Kulen.
Got a shot there of Ben Ort walking off the field, unfortunately injured and unable to take part, but he is helping coach. Definitely an influential member of the team, whether he's on the sidelines or on the pitch.
And very much taking up that coach responsibility that used to be his dad, Jerome Alt. It's the dad of European Ultimate. Always got a hug for everybody, me included. But Manes now, high rising disc, Cyrille catches, dishes down the line. Otison's fake. Forces a big bid. Kublichka sends the arm across the sky. It's Alpinus underneath it. And Alpinus runs through the Salaspils team. They continue this steady run of offensive holds. Still that one break to the good.
It's a goal and an assist on the board now for Kublichka, making it look simple on both sides of the disc. No hesitation. The wind really taking an effect into that end zone, yet we're seeing a lot of deep shots go up anyways. Nice outside in curve onto the disc, into the hands of her receiver. And Groot needing to find some way to contain some of those shots into the end zone here, Tom.
Yeah, Kublichka's such she's got the full package of disc skills. She's dangerous when she goes deep, but give her that undercut, give her the disc anywhere within sort of 30, 40 yards of the field. She can throw on both sides. She's one of the most infectious smiles around the ultimate field. She just brings a good vibe to her team. Anna Pendlebury, co-commentator, was out with Lasma and the rest of the Eurostars in the USA, traveling around. That is the commentary ticket to get, really, isn't it? 18 days, 7 games. Exhausting work, I imagine. Exhausting. De Jong for Grut, sends it deep. Lola Dam the target again. This time it's covered by Moseka. Moseka just does enough to drive up an early bid from Dam. Maybe a little bit too much pepper on it from de Jong as well.
De Jong trying to lead Dam out into space, and Moseka does such a good job of making Dam have to commit to a movement, unable to get a good read on that disc. Moseka just took the inside line and took away that opportunity for Dam to box her out.
Coming back the other way now. Underneath it is Maldaris, but Janssen does enough. And those two have had a good battle going down. Maldaris won, Janssen won on the defensive blocks from the deep shots. And walking up now for another Grut possession, Niles Baum. Okay, Niles Boom. De Jong sends it out to Blasman. Down the line, chasing it hard. Oh, and reads it all the way into the end zone. Niles Baum brings it in. Great play from both these teams. Very entertaining start to this mixed final here at the European Ultimate Championship Finals. Tom Stars alongside Becky Thompson. If you've just tuned in, we're on Fanseat. We're also on YouTube, so if you do have some friends who don't have a Fanseat subscription, just do ping them a link. They can all join in and watch this high-level European Championship final action. And Becky, the two teams locked in a really high-quality battle of Ultimate here.
Absolutely. It did seem like Grut came out with a little bit of nerves right at the start of this game, but any sign of that has completely disappeared now, Tom. They've settled into their game, and Salaspils and Grut here are going toe-to-toe. Similar styles of play. We're seeing very similar shots into the end zone, meaning one of these teams is going to have to change something up on defense at some point in order to adjust. But right now, this one could go all the way down to the wire.
We saw the Latvian women earlier this year competing on the beach in Timeout in Portugal. And Kublicka was the stat leader at the end of that tournament with 19 goals and 9 assists. Artse, who's here as well, she was the second place with 17 assists and 8 goals. She hasn't played such a big part in this Salaspils side. Salaspils in white, Grut in the red, Salaspils with the disc. Cyrile sends a low disc down the line to Albishans and comes back for the return, and it just flutters before she grabs it. Couldn't quite maintain the concentration required. Grut with a chance to get a break back, get them back on serve. Cutting forward, Martia Kullens.
Looks like there was a pick called in the stack before that throw was passed to the middle there as well.
Dacier Cyrile chasing it down, putting a bit of pressure on and getting picked in the process after that bobble disc turnover. Atjes swings it out to Steneker. Steneker surveys the field, looking for options, then has to go for the reset. Great defensive pressure. Kaumans. A lot of pressure again from Salaspils, really taking away every cut. Kaumans has it now, really swings it around nicely to Dam. Kublicka and Dam having a rare old battle, and Kublicka getting across quickly enough to stop that up the line pass. Better from Grut into the end zone. They can shoot, but no, don't like that option. Cyrile taking it away, but keeping it flowing down the line. Bram Steenhausen with the cut into the end zone, and a great team point from the young Dutch side.
Grut able to get that break back now to put us back on serve here in this game, tied up at 4s. This one is looking very evenly matched indeed, Tom. And I really like the way that Grut didn't force it into the end zone there. They swung back and forth across the pitch until that option opened up in the end zone, using the full width of the pitch to create space for themselves, and eventually able to get an easy inside shot there into the end zone for the goal.
Yeah, Steneker, Kaumans involved. Lola Dam is really struggling to get free. We saw her come underneath to get that disc. Kublicka really taking her A game off her. She's going to have to work hard in this game. She's going to be an effective force. But the young Dutch side playing against this young Salaspils side, giving us a bit of a treat here. That's that break back to Grut in that last point, puts them on 4-4. They're back on serve. Salaspils opened the game on offense, so Grut will come out on offense in the second half. Atjes pings the disc through the Italian breeze. Gussars, centre of the field, 2 players, and it's Ottisons that comes up with it. Kublicka just shying away as the 2 players closed in on the disc. Bernans gets it across now to Grabe and back to Bernans. Bernans again back to Grabe, the 2 exchanging. Blonde ponytail of Grabe catching the sunlight here, and Bernans looks up the line. Ottisons is cutting, he has to go to grab, sorry, that's Gussars cutting into that reset space, had to go one-handed. Bernans looks up the line, finds Kublicka coming out of the deep space, being marked by Menard. Cyrile Back to Evergrabe. Otisons. Textbook flow around the back, the dump and swing from Salaspils into the end zone. On a layout from Kubliczka to complete it for Salaspils. That is a hold, and my goodness, they had to work for it. And Kubliczka diving on the ground, crawling off the field. Is she going to be okay? I hope so.
Kubliczka worked incredibly hard throughout the entire course of that point, Tom. I had my eyes on her the entire time, and she did not take a single break. Was cutting hard out, hard under, trying to find the open space, tirelessly working for that disc, eventually finding herself open in the end zone, and her teammate making her have to work extra hard for it. I think hopefully just needing to take a quick break on the sideline after that point.
The trust that they place in her with the disc in hand or cutting in the end zone. It wasn't an easy pass. It was low, it was quick. She needed to dive. Great multitude of angles from our Ulti TV coverage. See her laying out right in front of the EUCF sign. There's an aircraft hangar behind us here at the airport fields, full of light aircraft, and normally they're charging up and down this strip of grass and taking off for flights over the Venetian Lagoon, which lies about an hour away down the road. And this disc has caught the breeze, and it's only just made it to the halfway mark. It's plenty of time for the defense to get there, but they've really gifted a short field. Blasman for Groot. Picks up, first options marked out. Lola Dam comes out of the D space. Moseka marking up against Dam, big shot into the end zone. Cullen reads it and takes it down. It's been called out, it's been called in. He's right on that far sideline, difficult to see, and it's been signalled in by Salaspils. So Marcia Cullen bringing down the shot under a bit of pressure as well.
Good. Making that probably one of the quickest, most efficient offensive points we've seen in this entire game so far as well, Tom. Maybe helped a little bit by that short field pull. I think this is the most we've seen the wind take an effect on a game all throughout this weekend as well. It's been pretty good conditions here. A little bit of rain yesterday, but not too much to affect the players. So taking advantage, and they made such easy work of it into the end zone. Nobody in that stack was moving apart from the front cut and Lola Dam coming straight out from the back for that huge under gainer, and then just an easy around throw into the end zone. Some pressure from the defense here, but Grut doing a good job to keep themselves trading in this game, all tied up at fives, and this is everything you want from a final.
It absolutely is. The voice of Becky Thompson alongside myself, Tom Stiles, bringing you the action here in Italy for the European Ultimate Championship finals. And you'll know Becky's voice from her work all the way around the World Ultimate scene, with us in Heidelberg for the World Under-24 Championship, and now a UK resident for the moment, studying in London, Becky.
Yeah, I'm currently doing my master's in sports journalism in London, and it's going pretty well so far, although it's nice to get back on the mic here as well with you, Tom. Had a great time in Heidelberg, and of course other events we've done over the years, so absolutely great to get back. Although I have to say, I did enjoy playing a lot this weekend as well.
So you've been playing with Smog too, and alongside your twin sister Helen. Yeah, what's that been like?
Absolutely amazing. We don't get a lot of opportunities to play together, so we really enjoyed it. We were mostly on different lines, unfortunately, so not a ton of playing together, but still being a part of the same team feels special.
I'd like to say hello to all the Latvian fans who are commenting on the YouTube stream. Thank you very much for tuning in Latvia. Don't forget to click that like and subscribe button and share your posts on all your social medias. The feed will be up there after the game as well. We do like to have the opportunity to be able to share live Ultimate as it goes on, and what a game to tune in for. 5 each. The Latvian team Salaspils against the Dutch team Grut in this mixed division final. Lasma Kubliczka with the bright orange, a bright yellow headband for Salaspils as the pull comes down to our right. That's a better pull from Grut. Dying just in front of the end zone, not being caught either. Gets the disc off to Grabe for a quick start. Kubliczka now. So you're awaiting ankle surgery, but it really isn't affecting her movement at all out here. Happiness gets it to Grabe, little floaty in the wind. Happiness again. Sorry, in the middle of the field was Gusars, and he has the disc back now. Beautiful disc from Gusars, opens up the space to Grabe. Ottison's been well marked, but gets the disc back to Kubliczka. Lola Dam playing both lines here. Given the chance to mark up against Kubliczka, shot into the end zone, a big bid, but it doesn't stop the disc getting into the hands of Roberts Apines, who runs through for the score.
You could see on that point, Tom, Grut was really trying to take away the outcut. They're trying to take away that deep option, but Salaspils is so happy to take advantage of those open unders, work it all the way up the pitch before that shot to the end zone opens up, and they worked those unders all the way. And Grut maybe needing to find a way to play some different style of defense, maybe put out a bit of a zone look in this wind as well, change something up, because right now the match-to-match defense isn't working out too well.
It's normally when Grut are playing against teams, their athleticism is their strength. Nick Cowman's with the big bid there just dies in the grass. But out here, you know, Salaspils are an equally athletic side. That superpower is not necessarily going to win you the game. So if you've been playing this weekend, obviously the wind hasn't been quite as strong as it is right here, Becky, but the mixed division zones are slightly different than you tend to find in the women's and men's division. Just talk us through what you guys have been playing this weekend.
There's a lot more strategy in terms of who's playing in what position, who's deep, who's playing in that front wall. My team has been playing a lot of force middle this weekend, which is something that could work for both of these teams, changing that force depending on where the disc is on the field to force players to have to throw into the middle of the pitch where you have a few people poaching on defense to get the block.
Yeah, the Grut fans have become more active on the comments on the YouTube feed as well. They just want to make sure we know you're out there listening, so thank you very much for tuning in. As your young star Lola Dam comes sprinting forward, heavily marked by Santo Moseka again. Does find a disc to Janssen down the line, continuing that flow, Marty Cullen. Oh, a high flick into the end zone, but that has been read and brought down out of the sky. Target was Janssen. Not the best decision, I'd say. Evia Arzte was the initiating player there. One of the stat leaders from the Latvian women on the beach in Portugal. Elza Gulsari had the disc and she gets it forward, and Salaspils call a timeout. Hectic stuff out here, Becky.
And I think that's a really good call here from Albatinch as well. Knowing that a 2-point lead here at this stage of the game, going upwind as well, could really be a momentum shift here. And I think they've got an opportunity to set up a good play, run something effectively, and not let Grut get into a rhythm on defense as well. We've seen Grut able to shut down some of these undercuts on this point there, and I think that's why Albatinch looked up, didn't see an option, immediately called the timeout.
See that shot from Cullen. It wasn't bad, and in most of the games that this team will have played, that will have come off. Straight away, the timeout call. So Salaspils with that 1-point advantage, but these two teams are on serve. One break to Salaspils, the second point of the game went to them, and one break back to Grut. Currently, Salaspils O-line have been turned over twice. Grut O-line have been turned over 3 times. But Grut's D-line have been more effective, only been turned over once. Oh, it's neck and neck, isn't it, Becky? The stats tell us that it's close. You look at the field and know it's close.
It's everything we have hoped for this game, and it really does speak to the level of the mixed division here as well. We've seen so many close games, and in some ways a little bit surprising to see this one staying close, as Salaspils had an easier win over this team earlier in pool play. However, you can argue that that win didn't mean much in the outcome of the pool, as Groot were going through second as well. So maybe not as much on the line, and when everything is on the line, teams can adjust and everything can be different.
Yes, those that don't recognize me from the camera angle, I haven't taken my hat off. The headset and the hat just don't go together. It is me though, I promise. Down the line, and a big block from Cullen. Martia Cullen lays out in front of Arte and gets that disc back. She had the risky throw into the end zone that gave Salaspils the disc. Poduma with the mark, Minard with the disc, gets it to Dam. Quick dish off to Baum. Baum had Janssen cutting underneath, and Janssen with all the time in the world to send it deep. Janssen is also the target. Jenna Janssen running through, but that disc catches the wind and drifts away to the back corner. Nothing the young 16 shirt could do.
Now, she had good position on that huck, getting her head up in the air to try to track it down, but the wind always carrying that one too far away. Just too much spin on that disc. Needed a little bit more float, a little bit more love put on it.
Yeah, Jenna Janssen, very impressive performance in the opening game in Cincinnati, where it was they were the show game in the big stadium. But 2 years have passed since then, and she was only 16 when she played that game, looking more of an athlete, more powerful now. Could not quite chase that disc down. Malderis. Confusion in the short field, but it does make the disc safely into the hands of Glasari. Effective defense from Dam, stopping that dump cut, but gets it through the hands of Azte and into Bonanza and out to that wing where Malderis waits, flicks it forward, and Dam denying the shorter player. Elza Gulsari has to watch, and Dam moving it quickly now to Janssen. It's Blasman who's cut in the end zone, and Janssen finds the disc, finds the receiver, and Grut score their offensive point at the third time of asking.
That is the exact same pass that Grut has thrown 3 points in a row now, Tom, going for that outside in shot on that far side of the field, allowing that flick to blade into the hands of a receiver. And this time, Tom Blasman there found himself in so much space. Good recognition to take advantage of that moment. A hard-fought point, a lot more turnovers on that point, a bit of a longer point here, and that huge defensive play from Lola Dam. Unbelievable grab, snagged that out of the air, and essentially gave her team the score.
Well, we've seen big defensive efforts from both teams here. Lola Dam, one of the most exciting players in Europe at the moment. And Floor Kalartz is her teammate. The two of them have risen up through the ranks together. Floor Kalartz, some consider to be the slightly better player, but she's out injured at the moment. She's wanting to make sure she recovers in time. Will be playing hopefully in Leeuwarden, their home World Championships, as part of the Dutch mixed side. Gublitska for Salaspils. Immediately flicks and expansive play. Cullen well off the mark, now re-establishing some sort of pressure. It's a zone from Grut, and that's a risky disc that just dies in the wind. Not a good option from Albertinch. A turnover gifted to Grut. Can they now work it back up? It is slightly into the wind, but it's also a crosswind, Becky, and they're right in the bottom wind corner there.
It's a really tough place to be making a throw like that, and I think Albertinch tried to do one thing too many. He had an option for a reset, but like you said, it's the hardest corner to be in, and now Grut have to work their way out of there.
Chiad Atez brings it up to the cone. Oh, it brings it up halfway up the field because it went out, never came back in. Atez blasted across to De Jong. De Jong's been throwing the big bombs deep. Oh, this time it catches a little bit of the wind. Run down and out of bounds. There's nothing that Stenica could do other than watch it disappear over the deck chairs of the fans.
And this is why we refer to that side of the pitch as the low side of the field. The wind is pushing everything that direction, so anything you're going to throw towards that sideline has to be thrown so precisely and with so much touch on the disc. Otherwise, that is exactly what's going to happen every time.
Yeah, any exposed edge is going to catch the breeze. Ottisons down the line. Kubliczka's been shown too much of the inside edge. Oh, and she still comes down with it. Under 3 players of pressure. The disc was poor. It rose in the breeze, but Kubliczka never took her eyes from it. Comes down with the grab for Salaspils, keeping her team into this game single-handedly right now.
Apenis there has got to go thank his teammate. Kubliczka saved that throw, got them the goal. Single-handed effort there from Kubliczka. Unbelievable grab, comes down with it between 3 players. Didn't have the body position, really had everything going against her in that moment, and still makes an incredible play.
Another great bit of flow from the Salaspils team. They dump, they swing, and then way too much. 3 players. How did she come up with that disc? She's got Muskie under the disc as well. Oh, it was an impressive grab from the Eurostar. She's got absolutely 0 right to take that disc. I don't think that matters. It's great to see her playing with so much confidence, so much ability, but sometimes that ability can be stifled if the player's really not feeling their game. Oh, and we've lost a disc. It's the first disc I've seen disappear over that fence all weekend, but that one has just caught a bit too much breeze. And the Mosquitoes will be using that as a shelter for the next week. The Mosquito Nest, sponsored by Discraft. They're trying to locate a new Ultra Star. Oh, here we go. Found a brand new one, straight out of the packet. Just going to check it. And back to the brick mark. Blasman for Grut. Dam sets off deep. Kubliczka in hot pursuit. Oh, Basten de Jong tried to catch it with his elbow, but could not quite do it. Bernans dishes it back to Cyrilay, who sends it deep. Mosheka underneath it. She grabs high, and twice the great receptions from the Salaspils women have taken them. That's a break to take half. Santa Mosheka again under pressure, but she didn't let it affect her one bit. Incredible grabs at both ends of the field from the Salaspils women.
The women on this team right now, Tom, just staying calm, cool, and collected under the most intense and pressure situations here. Like you said, no right to come down with this disc. 2 defenders tracking that space, but she goes up early. I thought she had gone too early, but that disc stuck into her hand like there was a magnet there and brought it down, and that is a huge upwind break to take half.
Yeah, one of the more experienced players on this Salaspils side, but so athletic, so powerful, and been sprinting around for this team. So the Latvians take half with an 8-6 lead. Wherever you're watching the game, I do hope you're enjoying the coverage here on Fancy and also on YouTube. Myself, Tom Stiles, alongside Becky Thompson here, who's been playing in this mixed division. We see our Eurozone podcast colleagues Ravi Vasudevan and Liam Grant down here in front of us, alongside the whole Ulti TV crew. Hannah Pendlebury's sitting here doing our stats for us this game and doing a great job at it as well. It's a Frisbee family in the media community here.
Yeah, it really is. It's a special thing to be a part of, and to be able to come into a weekend where I've had an incredible opportunity to play all weekend, but I still get to be a part of this team as well. It's been pretty awesome.
With some of the highlights from the first half, that take from Basten de Jong, who's had a really great game, went across to the USA, tried out his hand in the AUDL, didn't make it onto the New York side, which I think was what he initially went over there to do. Played with the Detroit Mechanics, but back in his native Netherlands now. A powerful arm, sending it deep. This is that grab from Lola Dam. Marcia Cullen throwing herself at the disc, could get the block for Grut. And if you are wondering where the name Grut comes from, it's out of the Dictionary of Dutch Words which are hard for commentators to say. I think it's on page 3. It literally means sort of spoiled toddler, or, you know, moody child.
Bratty children.
Bratty child.
Yeah.
But the team have taken the word and have created an entire brand which is known throughout the ultimate world now, winning multiple European Championships. Didn't compete at the European Championship final last year because most of the team were on international service for the Netherlands out in the World Junior Championships in Canada. Minard now sends it down the line. It isn't completed though. The target was the 16 shirt of Jannik Hansen.
Looking just a little bit apprehensive there to throw the disc upfield as well. Maybe a few nerves. You wonder if the momentum has really shifted into the hands of Salaspils after those 2 amazing plays before half.
It's going to take a little bit more than that to knock this young Dutch side off their stride. Big bid coming in, and the defender just doing enough to put the Salaspils receiver off. Went up early, forced the Salaspils receiver to go up early as well. It's the 44 shirt of Kasparans. Martin Kasparans, who was bidding. Big high disc for Janssen to control, but could not control it. Comes off the fingers and out of bounds. Grut with a messy start to this second half. Sorry, and another turnover.
And so far, all execution errors from both of these teams to start the second half as well. You want to see a few more defensive plays, a little bit more defensive intensity, forcing those turnovers. Right now, these are all uncontested errors.
Deep shot. Damn the target, but denied by Driamane. Helena Driamane. Getting down there, taking the block away. And you almost put that one down to an execution error as well. The Dam was very free, but needed the disc to be over the head of the defender. This is floating, it's going to be, oh, what a dive! And calling the timeout personal. They probably should have called an injury there rather than a timeout, but Martin Kasparans, having been beaten in one end zone, was not going to let that disc dive into the turf, right it towards Uzbeki. I think if he'd carried on going, he would have taken out the Eurozone team in front of us.
I think absolute dedication to get to that disc there, Tom. You could see it in his eyes as Kasparans was chasing that disc down. There was no way he was letting this fall to the floor. Gets just a fingertip underneath it and immediately calls a timeout. Hopefully he is all right, rubbing his shoulder after that. It has already been a point with quite a few turnovers, so maybe not a bad decision to take a timeout here anyways, Tom.
He's got the absolute highlight reel for any hero there, hasn't he? 4 different angles. Here we go, right into the camera. Look at that. What a grab. Great footage from our sideline cameraman, Lolo. Doing a great job. The Ulti TV crew traveling Europe over the summer. Mike Palmer and the team. 4 cameras here. Will Foster on the replay, Mike Palmer making all the calls as a director. We've got Felix Chardlow, Milan, Vez on the top camera, and aforementioned Lolo as well. So, great team. We've been very well looked after by our volunteer Jamie as well, who's been fetching food and keeping us all well hydrated. Hilary Humes has been on the microphone during the week. Of course, Steph Rapazzo doing the play-by-play honours on the men's final. That historic win for Kuzbula Fota. Complete demolition job of Clapham Ultimate. Quick chance to chat to Clapham after it. They said this was the kicking they needed. They're on a 4-year plan trying to get to the next Worlds, and they needed a wake-up call. La Fota have stepped up their game, and Clapham need to do something different. Real advancing play up to Bonanz. Great disc, made many yards. They're on the edge of the end zone and calling another timeout. So why not use your both timeouts just one pass apart?
I'm not sure about that decision at all here, Tom. You've only got 2 timeouts per half. That is the second timeout of the second half for the Salaspils team. If this game goes down to the wire near the end, they're not going to have another opportunity to take out a timeout. They're going to have to rely on Groot to hopefully take one, but they've got a chance, that being said, on the doorstep of the end zone here to punch in an upwind break straight out of halftime that could really start to hammer in the win for this team. See another shot of that layout grab. That being said, Tom, so many turnovers occur in that final third after taking a timeout. It can be really hard to execute, and we'll see what kind of defense Groot will come out with here.
Well, I'm sure if Ravi was here, Ravi would tell us that this is a bad choice. And not just from a personal opinion, there's research on this stuff. It might seem like the right thing to do when you're the offensive player looking at no options and a high stall count, but scientifically, it doesn't end well when you come back after the timeout. Generally, or more often than not, results in a turnover. And you'd really only want to do it if it was going to be a positive effect. So even any chance of a turnover would seem like a bad move. But the old turnout, see if Bonanz can prevent it. He has the disc in his hands, this young Latvian side. Coming out of half, as Becky quite rightly pointed out, a chance to go on a 3-point run. It was tied at 6s. If they can score this point, a break either side of half would give the young Dutch team Grut a big job to get back into this mixed final at the European Ultimate Championship finals here in Carole, the airport fields, just an hour up the road from Venice. Blasting around inside the zone, looking for a reset, but good hand position from the defender. Kasparans has it. His shirt's still mucky from the big layout he took in front of us. He's got a high stall count. Dimpers now. Still cutting, a pick has been called. This is not what the Latvians wanted coming out of that stall out timeout. The Dutch have done a great job stifling the offense.
I really do believe that Salaspils were in a better position before they called that timeout. They had the flow and the momentum on their side, and they've allowed Groot to set up a very intense defensive look here.
Looking down the line, it's going to be exposed, and it's denied by Janssen. The turnover, was there contact made? Kasparans is fired up here. He's saying, oh, he's retracted. And he's replaying that with quite some vigor. Let's have a look at the replay. Down the line. Couldn't see what Kasparans' point of view was, Becky.
Didn't look like there was any contact on that play to me, Tom. Kasparans has retracted the call, so maybe just some frustration on his own part that he couldn't quite get to that disc.
Yeah, frustration for the team as well. Salaspils giving up a really good position on the field. Minard looks to throw it deep, but Janssen had come back underneath. She was looking for a deep shot, not that undercut. Jenna Janssen now sends it downfield to Volt Janssen. Going deep is Blasman. It's been shot high into the air. There's a big bit of pressure, But Tom Blasman runs it in for his second point of the game. Oh, it's been called back, a pick being called. Did that affect the throw?
I think some people on the pitch are signaling for a goal.
No, it's signaled by the receiver, the person marking the receiver, Ned Garvey, said, no, that
did not affect the outcome of the play at all. And you like to see that with the rules, that's where some interpretation can really come into play. It could go back, but it's good to see that kind of spirit from the defender to say, I was not involved in the pick at all. There was no effect on this call. And a great cut to the end zone here for Groot after a pretty hard-fought long point straight out of halftime.
That big shot from Volt Janssen to Tom Blasman, his second point of the game. Janssen's fourth assist of the game, really clocking up the tally with disc in hand, the number 6 shirt. These tall Dutch men, Mark Pleur, Walt Janssen, they all cut a similar figure. Even Ben Oort has got that, 6'3", kind of broad-shouldered, powerful, slim, athletic look. Even Niels Baum. They'll cut from a similar mould in the Netherlands. It's a good mould for Ultimate. So back within one. That key moment for Salaspils, who are on the edge of the end zone, about to take a 3-point advantage. And now they didn't take that. Grut still in this game and pushing them hard. In the breeze, which is rising. It's coming directly from behind the camera across the field. Otisons. Back to Cyrille. Albertinch. Albertinch sends it. It's going to catch a bit of breeze. It's going to blow back across the field. Who's read it better? Nobody's read it better. There was some contact, but it was well over the head of Otisons.
Yeah, neither players there were going to be able to make a play on that disc. And interesting to see Groot here came out with a little bit of a junk zone look. They had Lola Dam poaching just in front of the disc. That was her job, to follow in front, try to stop or maybe deter Salaspils from wanting to put up that deep shot. Couldn't quite get over for that one, and they thought they had the opportunity, but the deep space marked very well there as well.
A deep shot with that edge of the disc up is always going to fly further than you think, and it's always going to go further to the right than you think. Otisons had it coming over his shoulder, just could not adjust in time. Steneker, far side of the field, Kulun, back into the hands of Ates. Ates to Dam. Dam looks up the line, finds Steenhuisen. Just looking for a hand signal from the players.
There's another pick called in the middle of the pitch. We've seen a lot of pick calls in this game, Tom.
Steenhuisen. Violation called. Violation should have your fists closed. Just a reminder there. Your hands up to the sky is a little bit too close to a point being scored, so you have your fists closed for a violation. Steenhuisen brings it back to Basten de Jong, who opens up the shoulders, sends it deep. There's going to be some pressure underneath this. Both players misreading it, and it's dealt with in the end by Toms Albertinch for Salaspils. Another opportunity for Groot. Another defensive block in the end zone from Salaspils. Another wind-affected deep shot.
I think that's exactly what Salaspils wants Groot to do here. They are happy for them to put up these deep shots because, like you said, the wind is catching these discs and allowing for it to sit a little bit longer. I think Salaspils right now back themselves in those 50-50 situations.
Over the top, Cyrille. Just a little bit too far out in front of Roberts Alpines. Another opportunity for Groot. Given a short field, it's just beyond the halfway line. Now the sideline behind us is packed with Ultimate fans. wanting to stay closer to the bar, I think, rather than venturing over to the fence side of the airport field here in Carole. Down the line to Cullen. Cullen sends it into the end zone, but it's out of bounds. Another turnover in this point.
And they're just signaling on the pitch there that disc never came back in bounds either. So Salaspils will get to walk this about 20 yards up from their own end zone to restart their offense.
Just wondering, Hannah, how many turnovers has been in this point already? 4 turnovers, so 2 each. Dam gets the immediate interception. That's another turnover added to the count. A statistician will be wearing out that turnover button at this rate. Baston de Jong, can he score now to bring it back to 8 each? Inside shot to Steneker with the big fake. And just a little bit too close. Grut, but Manis says no. Immediate quick start to Albertinch, looking down the line. Happiness continues the cut. It's gone back across to Dacier Cyrile. Linda Gulbe, Otins, Kublitska. Trying to find a way through. She sends it into the end zone and it's picked off again. This time Groot have it back. These two teams, and a timeout this time called by Groot. Kublitska on the floor.
I think that's the first turnover we've seen Kublitska throw in this game as well, Tom. She's been having such a great game, but that just shows the fatigue coming into play. These are such long points. It is so hot out here in the sun as well, and it's the 7th game of the weekend for both of these teams too. So that mental fatigue causing, I think, a lot of these errors here right now.
Well, there was a player free at the back of the end zone, but either a hammer to the back corner or something with a bit more edge on the disc. Wasn't really on. It's through a crowd of Grut players who are only too eager to snaffle it for their own possession, and then calling the timeout. So a very, very fast, clean first half, but the second half has been smattered with errors from both these teams. Final placement games this morning for most of the teams around the tournament. Smog 2, did you win your last game?
We did, finished on a win. We finished in 11th, but we had an incredible weekend and some close scores against the likes of Pudi, who played in the 3rd, 4th place game. We only lost by 2 points to them. So despite where we finished, I think it shows how close the division truly is.
Yeah, very competitive. And the women's division as well, also. Brilliant competition across there. Cosmic Girls, Gravity, Yaka, and of course Kuzbschau, all of which could have on their day beaten each other. You know, the eventual winners lost their opening game to Heidelbergen. A bit of a surprise there. So the women's division, very exciting. But here in the mixed division, it's down to the business end of the weekend. Salaspils have already beaten Grut once. Can they do it again when it matters? The European Ultimate Championship Final 2019 culminates here. What can the young Dutch side do against this young Latvian team? Latvians in the white, the Dutch Grut in the red. Dam sprints forward, marked by Kublitska. Looking up the line, gets it back, and a little bit of pressure. The poach off defense, trying to find a way through, but really active mark there from Bert Manis, stopping the throw. De Jong looks up, sees Dam going, sends up the big disc. 3 players bidding. Kublitska and Dam collapsing on the floor, but I think the person that got the block was Tom's Albertinch, who'd poached off the back, and that was exactly what Salaspils were doing in their first game.
It's exactly what they want. They want to make it feel like that player is open going to the end zone, and huge credit to Albertinch there. He completely avoided contact with both his own teammate Kublitska and Lola Dam. You see plays like that with multiple players going for the disc can result in fouls. Completely avoided the contact. A good play there from Albertinch.
And he has it back in his hand. Cyrile out to the wing, underneath now. So that's Gets it into the hands of Gulbe. Sirele has it back now. Sirele sends a flick into the far corner. Gulbe the target, but the wind just pushes it down onto the ground, and contact made on the throw. It's going to come back.
Even with the windy conditions here, Tom, that throw didn't look like it came off exactly the way it was intended. There was a bit of contact on the arm, and it doesn't look like it will be contested here either.
Ninke Musquet. Ninke Musquet. Trying to get all the E's and pronounce right. On the mark in the 44 shirt for Grut. Sirele, the quick backhand forward to Happiness. Rising is Otisons. Otisons into the end zone. Grut punched the floor in frustration as Salaspils maintain this one break margin between the two teams. They're fighting hard, but they just can't quite get back on terms.
And Salaspils really welcoming those deep shots, as we mentioned before, but this time when they got the turnover, they didn't make any mistakes of their own. They worked it up the pitch. They had that big around shot that resulted in a foul call, and then calmly into the end zone on the second go at it. You're going to get another look here at the D from Albatich. Just got a hand to it first, avoided all contact, and then this one gets worked up this near sideline into the end zone. An easy change of direction there, big bid from the defender, but that is a critical score here. Each of these points is feeling more and more important as they seem to be increasingly long, hard fought, so many turnovers. These teams are giving it everything they have.
Very, very close here. Mixed final, chance to take home the gold medal and the title, champions of Europe for one of the teams. But will it go to the Netherlands? Will it go to Salaspils in Latvia? The Latvian ultimate story, a rising superpower in Europe. Janssen. Called for travel, brought it back in quickly. Gets it back to Baum. And across to Minard. Janssen's cutting underneath, but it's been well marked out by Malderis. It's a floaty disc, but it's read well by Dam. There's too many players near, coming out of the deep space. Jana Janssen. Can she find something up the line? Yes, she can. Bound, perfectly timed cut, keeping it flowing. All open side stuff at the moment. There's going to be some pressure underneath this. Martin Skudsars says no, denying the reception to Nick Cowmans, but a disc from Kusars has risen. A little bit too much. And again, another high disc. This time Yanis Bernans grabs on, sends the disc straight away. There's two of the Grut women underneath this. Who can take it down? Who else but Lola Dam?
You've got to back Lola Dam in that situation to get her hand to the disc first. She's got such a great read on where that disc is going, but she also gets herself into the right positions, just sealing out the offender there and able to get just enough of a touch to redirect the disc.
The wind starting to pick up more and the players struggling to adapt to it. When the disc is coming towards our cameras across the field, it's going directly into what's increasingly quite a blustery, stiff breeze rolling across the top of the aircraft hangar behind us. That's a tasty inside flick to Dam on this upwind side. Janssen jacks the arm, Cowmans the target, and this time Cowmans is successful. Dam cutting deep, also Blasman cutting deep. Neither player available to get free at the moment. It goes back and the reset to Baum. Around to Minard. Back to Cowmans. Jana Janssen, Cowmans continues the cut. Can Janssen find it? Yes, she can. And Cowmans with that big takedown and the eventual score. Hot play from Grut for the goal. They bring it back to 8-9.
big plays here from the Dutch players, really starting to put everything on the line. I think we're starting to see from both these teams just how much this game means to them. They're putting everything out there, and I think some of that is causing some of the mistakes that we've seen as well, maybe some of that pressure getting to the both sides here. But now Grut keeping themselves involved, another breakdown really would have put a hammer into this one, and you're going to get another look at the D here. Lola Dam barely got a touch to it, but just enough to change the course of the disc, and she got up before any other player had left the ground.
That's that thing, when a deep shot hangs in the air, it does give the defense chance to get there, read and jump from a standstill. It's always more difficult if the disc can fly ahead of the receiver and they can run onto it and take it down in front of them. Always struggle for the defense. Lola Dam doing the work with the legs, getting there, reading it well, getting up and taking it down. If you want to get myself and Becky get in touch, I'm at Tom Styles on Twitter. And Becky, you are?
I'm at Bex Thompson 16 on Twitter.
Oh, new Twitter handle. Otisons for Salaspils. Gets it across to Gulbe. Down the line. Happiness. Otison's the target. Otisons takes it down just inside the front of the end zone. Signaled as a goal by Grut. And that's a quick offensive hold. The likes we've not seen in this second half. Salaspils with a 10-8 margin.
Yeah, as you just said, Tom, the first clean point from either of these teams in the second half, and the first clean point from the Salaspils team in quite some time as well, showing us that they've still got some of that mental focus to clean it up, change up what they're doing, and really worked that open side. Grut unable to get the right positioning on defense here, and this cut almost made it look too easy into the end zone here for the Latvian team.
Yeah, the last time Salaspils had a clean O point was at 6-5. It's been sloppy since then. Lots of pressure from Grut. The wind blows the flags of the European Ultimate Federation on the far side of the field as the youth stars of European Ultimate relax after a hard week, a hard season of Ultimate. It's been a big year. Under 24 championships, European Ultimate Championships in Hungary, European Beach Championships. Some of these players doing all of those tournaments, and obviously regionals and then European Championship finals here in Italy. Disc rises, but Janssen is alert, reads it well. Tricky grab, there's no cuts for her, looks to find De Jong downfield, had to break the force to do so. De Jong spins it inside to Janssen. Janssen, oh, to a very quick reacting Tom Blasman, who had to dive behind him left-handed. It wasn't the option, but did make it. Steady little knifey flick to Janne Janssen. Bit of contact on the release there. Didn't affect the flight. Janssen with the disc again. Flicks a blade into the end zone, but just enough D on it from the high rising Didzi Maldares for Salaspils. They have the disc back and a chance to come upfield against this wind to take a 3-point lead here. Grut giving away the disc a little bit too easily there.
And again, that is the shot that Salaspils is baiting here from this Grut team. That is what they want them to throw. They've got two defenders dropping off on so many of the deep shots, giving themselves the best possible opportunity to get a player to it first. And right now, they're still looking just a little bit more confident with the disc in their hands, I think.
Yeah, Grut's deep game is it's known as a threat throughout Europe, but straight away giving the disc back. Basten de Jong on the edge of the end zone looking to score this one for the Dutch. Can he find a way? And he's got no stall count. Now he does. He'd have to think about the disc now. In he goes. Oh, the front corner is Lola Dam. Outstretched, reaching hand. Brings it under control. They're back within one. And just as Salaspils looked like they were going to accelerate away, Grut say no.
This is what Grut has done time and time before. They have the strength to keep themselves in a game despite how tired they are. You see the legs of Lola Dam. She's been playing every single point out here. I don't think she's taken a sub since the first half of the game, Tom, and still able to put everything she has to get towards that disc. Outstretched arm. Didn't have to bid, but man, she made that one look good.
A wonderful player to watch. I saw her first at Windmill. Windmill in the Worlds, Worlds 2016, when their average age was I think the average age of the team was less than 18. The Becky Thompson fan club are actually alive and well on the Twitter, on the YouTube comments. Enjoying your work, Becky. Treat to be able to have Becky with us in the commentary box here at the European Ultimate Championship Finals. Alongside myself, Tom Stiles. Wherever you're watching, hope you're enjoying the coverage. The Ulti TV crew are bringing you on Fancy and on YouTube as well. Albertinch. Low release. Oh, and just couldn't quite bring it under control. Dace Cyrile kicks the disc away in frustration.
And maybe just the change in defense here from Groot, putting on a zone to start this point, just caused some nerves there for the Salaspils team.
Cowman sends it into the end zone. The target is Cullen at the back of it, and she brings it down. Cowman with the shot, Cullen with the reception. And that change of defense leads to a one-pass score. Grut back on level terms, it's 10-all.
And that is a momentum-changing point right there, Tom. Being able to reel in a grab like that to pump your entire team up, you see how excited they are after that one. They took advantage of a short field turnover here from Salaspils. That same around flick shot into the end zone, but this time rising above Cullen with the goal. And this game all tied up again, 10-10. This is an exciting final match.
Maciej Cullen celebrates with the team. Oh, very impressive stuff. Second goal for Cullen in this game. Cowmans has a goal and that assist as well. 10 each, the mixed final here in Carole in Italy, bringing the top two mixed sides in Europe together in an extraordinary match. That's only the fourth break of the game. Salaspils broke on the second point. Grut got it back in the middle of the first half, and now Salaspils are in the back of their own end zone, under a little bit of pressure here. Cyrile didn't quite make that reception to lead to that previous turnover. A big disc going downfield. Kublitska chasing it down, but it's been beaten to the disc, to the position on the field by Stenica. Gets it down the field to Cheered Ates. Nails boom. Back to Ates. Shouting at the players. Plu. Back to Ates. Floating, terrible disc. Otisons make sure it departs the side of the field before Ates could get there. And the turnover throw from Nails Boom, he crossed with himself, but he gets the hand slap from Cheered Ates, trying to keep their spirits up. Otisons reacting first, just the fingertips required.
It's interesting, we need both these teams to keep their spirits high in this game. The attitude, the mental game is going to be such an important factor to the last few points here.
Keeping the foot down inside the field, Tom's Albertinch. Across the field now, but Manes. Cyrile, Otisons. Back to Cyrile again. Up the line to Apines. Not got very many options. Blady throw back to Cyrile, goes inside. Plug denying that channel. Goes forward. Albertinch, Kublitska. Inside shot, but it's picked off. Quite sure whether that was an option that was really open. Looked like it went straight to the Dutch player, but it's been blocked back by Gulbert. Cyrile, Otisons cutting front corner, and it's made to look easy by Salaspils in the end. Mistake by Grut having got the disc, and a chance gone.
And it's interesting to see Salaspils here not really celebrating that point with too much excitement. They look exhausted right now, Tom, trying to pick themselves up a bit maybe now, but there was a lot more energy shown from Groot after that point, despite the fact that they were just scored on. So you have to wonder how that mental game is going to play in effect, to see enough touch on the disc there from the defensive play. Full credit to Salaspils on this point, though. They had several mistakes and able to get it back on this nice poach block here in the middle, and then on their third opportunity not making the same mistakes again.
Yeah, Kubliczka with the block, keeping her team in this game as she has done from the start. The punch spike, but you're quite right, Becky. The body language of these two teams is very different. 2 turnovers aside, and the Salaspils offensive line unhappy with their performance. See Ted Butner, one of the EUF board, has been helping us out. He's also the EUF treasurer. Useful man to know when you've got expenses. Some great games down in the stadium field as well, which if the tournament comes back to Carole, they will be trying to have a few more games in the stadium. An athletics track with a sports field in the middle of it. 2 of the women's games down there. De Jong for Grut. As their offensive line take to the field again. Cowmans cuts underneath. Cutting back now, Blasman takes the disc. High. Looks upfield. Not very many options that aren't marked out well. Over the top to De Jong, trying to continue the flow. De Jong has a couple of bites at that before he brings it under control. Back to Blasman, up the line. Dam cuts to the break side, gets the hammer. It's going to be Janssen the target, but again, the execution on the throw is not there from Grut.
Yeah, I think Dam was the intended receiver for that hammer, but the wind pushing that straight into the ground, and the execution errors are really plaguing the second half of this game.
Yeah, throwing a hammer downwind is a really tricky disc. You have to throw it so much higher than you expect to. It's always going to get pushed down. Disc flies in an unconventional way as it is, but even more so in the wind. Garvey with the disc for Salaspils now. A chance for them to break, take that 2-point margin that they've had for so much of this game. Oseka. Quick movement now to Malanovskis. He's been filling us in on how this Salaspils team are feeling coming into this game. Deep shot to Bonanz. Bonanz has got plenty of time to reel it in. Brilliant arm, great disc. The Cowmans defender, the Groot defender, Cowmans in the end zone, a little bit blind to that shot before it arrived, and Salaspils re-establishing that 2-point margin.
And now we see a little bit more of that excitement from the Salaspils team, maybe relaxing a little bit with punching in their first break here of the second half, taking it to 12-10. They're only a couple points away now, Tom, from winning the European Ultimate Championship finals here. That's got to feel exciting, and now we get a chance to see how Groot can respond to that.
Well, they've had a hard tournament, Salaspils. We commentated on one of their games earlier in the week where they played against Flow, the team from Wrocław in Poland. That went to sudden death, and then they lost it, Flow winning the game. Very exciting it was too. So they've had an up and down weekend, but then yesterday night here on the stream playing against Puti, the team from Finland, Espoo in Finland, and then a couple of the Helsinki women coming across to join that mixed side as well, putting together a really strong force. That game went to Universe as well, but Salaspils held their nerve in the end, made their way through to this gold medal match. Grut have had a tricky weekend too, being really taken to bits on day one by this Salaspils team, but they've rebuilt and had a strong tournament otherwise, and shown what a class side they are. The rematch with Salaspils in the driving seat right now. Minard for Grut. Bohm cuts. Big fake. Lola Dam's available, and her first mistake of the game from Lola Dam. She really has been playing a blinder, keeping her team in this game.
Uncharacteristic mistake from Dam there, not something we see her do in almost any match.
Oh dear, just a lot of contact between the two players as they went to ground. Dam bidding for that, and immediate apology. Eva Grabe was the Latvian, sorry, it's not Grabe, that's Helena Drumane. Look at the replay. It blown over both their heads following the disc rather than...
Yeah, it didn't look intentional there from Dam. She went up for the disc, and just as she fell to the ground, I'm not sure she knew Drumane was right behind her.
Both players completely misreading it as it caught in the wind. It was a fairly flat, rapid sidearm flick into the end zone, rising up. It's a turnover. Substitute Mosheka comes on to take the place of the injured Helena Drumane. She looks okay on the sideline, just chatting with Floor Clarks, I think that is, on the sideline. Baum. Janssen comes underneath, doesn't get it, and the short pass is bounces off the chest. Salaspils with a short field and a chance to score. They just pop it over the top, and they have another break. They are within 2 of the championship. Grut errors being punished by the Latvians.
And we've seen Salaspils here clean up their errors. They've refocused in on this game, and it looks like the momentum has swung into their favor in the later part of this second half. They have a lot more confidence on the disc, even things like throwing that little scoober into the end zone in the wind here. Just not afraid to take some of those more difficult shots, and it's paying off for them. They've got a 3-point lead, and more importantly, Tom, they're now only 2 points away from winning the gold medal.
Salaspils side, part of the Latvian ultimate story. Latvians went in the mixed divisions to the World Under-24 tournament and demolished some of the best mixed teams in the world, finishing, did they finish 4th at World Under-24? So I have all the results here.
Yeah, 4th place, and it's important to note as well, Tom, that they faced off against the Netherlands in the group stages, who many of these Groot players were playing for that team at the World Under-24 Championships. The Latvian side took that game as well, so these sets of players know each other quite well.
Yeah, Latvia beat Netherlands in the World Under-24 side 15-8. I think there's only 4 players from the World Under-24 side that are playing here with Salaspils, but the European Beach Championships, where the women competed for Latvia, there's 8 of their team are playing with Salaspils here, so change of surface, but no change of personnel or talent available. Salaspils in the mixed division, reaping the reward of that strong program in Eastern Europe. And Grut with a lot of questions to answer here. They're going to come out on offense. The breeze blustering, disc bouncing into the hands of Basten de Jong, and he gets the play underway with a pass to Tom Blasman. Back to de Jong. Quickly cut. Anna Minard. Back to Lola Dam. Dam to de Jong. Dam continues the cut. Janssen available on the near side. Better positioning up the wind. What can Dam do? Just such a workhorse for this team. Cutting up the line is de Jong, but goes over the top. Clever positioning, clever movement. Janssen almost getting blocked by the Salaspils player. Gulsari didn't quite get there. De Jong keeping the back toe in right in front of our camera. Really had to work to keep the disc alive there. Blasman for Grut. Defense is stifling from Salaspils. Trying to stop the overhead. Janssen just asked a little bit too much. The disc was behind her. That trailing hand couldn't quite snag the disc. The pressure from Gulsari counting again, and Salaspils with an opportunity to score, Becky.
And Groot there just maybe needing to actually take a harder shot. There was options to the far side of the end zone, but tried to force it up that sideline. And Salaspils, like you said, a chance. They can take it to game point with this one.
Hart State swings to the middle of the field to Gulsari. Bonans, Garvey. Garvey continues the flow to Poduma. Bonans cuts up the line, can't be found, and a pick called. Just a chance to take a breather. The intensity rising. Salaspils with the disc to go within one of the gold medal. Garvey again. Gulsari with a clever switch of directions ahead of Janne Jansen. Gets free down that line. Garvey finds her. Continues the flow. Poduma into the end zone. The toes were down. The hands were on the disc, but could not quite control it. Disappears into the turf. Grut Bertmanis. Oh, it's not Bertmanis, it's Malanovskis. Frustrated.
That was such an important point here for Salaspils, and Groot need to take advantage now of this execution error. He did have to go to ground, caught it, but just as he hit the ground, that disc flew out of his hands.
Low disc, straight away. The target is Cullen. Just coming back over her head, maybe the sun catching the underside of the disc. It was a difficult grab. Martin Cullen didn't quite execute, but they have got the full length of the pitch to work again here, the team in white. They ran very, very hard. Gulsari coming underneath, shouting for the disc. Now she gets it. Janne Jansen looking a little tired, chasing her. Gulsari back to Bonans. No timeouts for Salaspils. They took them both in the first point of the half. And Poduma, again, looking a little weary, mistakes creeping into the game. It spills off the fingertips into the turf.
This is a must-score point here, a must-score opportunity for this Netherlands team. They need to get this in. It could very well be the difference in the rest of the game.
Volt Jansen across to De Jong. Big pressure arriving in the form of Jannis Bonans. De Jong across to Jansen. De Jong already kept this disc alive once with that big throw. It's the throw to the far side. Basten de Jong underneath it. Has he read it? Yes, he has. Walt Jansen just pings it up into the wind, and it carries to the far side. And the Netherlands team, Grut, are not out of this one yet.
Basten de Jong is having an incredible game here today, Tom. He did everything in his power there to get up for that disc, falling backwards to make the grab, and that was such a critical point here. Groot need to come out with that kind of intensity, that kind of passion to catch those and make those plays, and they need to apply that to their defense right now.
Yeah, Basten de Jong, maybe a few scratching their heads why he wasn't able to make the Dutch mixed side. His experience with Grut. So many. That was a crazy grab. They called him the Flying Dutchman when he first came on the scene. You can see why. He's looking to that break side, needing to go up. Incredible grabs. Throws himself around.
You mentioned him not making that national mixed team, maybe just playing with a lot to prove right now, Tom, and he is certainly proving it.
Yeah, on the stream, he's doing everything he can. A point to go with his 2 assists. He's been throwing big bombs all game, and that's an awful pull from Grut. It went out of the field very close to our camera position. Quite often do throw the disc out of bounds for it to then drift back in on the wind, but that didn't have enough height on it. The wind had no chance to push it back in, and it's been walked back up by Tom's Albertinch. His broad smile, somewhat looking a little weary. Blasts across the disc to Gulbeg. Otisons diving. having to dive. The pressure from Grut rising. Gussars gets it to Albertinch again. Back to Gussars. Looks at the fake. Albertinch again. Front line. Gussars runs in and gets the front feet down. It's signalled as a goal. They're within one of the goals. Grut with so much work to do. A really awful pull, costing them that short field, Becky. And they were in a trouble ever from that point on, really.
Really gifted Salaspils that point there, Tom, with that pull. They had to work it across the full width of the pitch before bringing it back into the end zone, but I think that's credit to Salaspils. They've shown us their patience and how calm they can be under pressure, especially in the later stages of this game, and really that has been the difference. They are not making the same number of unforced errors that Groot has made in the second half.
Albertinch and Gussars, just the two of them involved in so many parts at that point. Otison's on the far side had to pull out a big bid to keep the disco out of the hands of Niels Baum. Salaspils knocking on the door of a gold medal. It's gold medal won last year by SE6 from Sweden after they beat the well-fancied Hässliche Erdvögel, who'd looked like the class side in the mixed division all season. Grut not here last year, and this Salaspils team is new for this season, but they're doing very well. Get a little wink from Lasma Kublitska as she walks past us. I think she's quite enjoyed this game, enjoyed this experience. They've fought hard, not been an easy journey to get into this final. But now they're in it, and they're playing extremely well. They're forcing mistakes from Grut as Cowmans comes underneath. Looks at the big lefty fake, back to De Jong. De Jong pokes it back underneath to Cowmans, a great diss from De Jong. Cowmans floats back to Dam, who has to go both hands to the ground, keeping it alive. Lola Dam has had a brilliant game. Break force, backhand. Lola Dam continues the cut. She's been sent the disc by Bastien de Jong. It hangs in the air. Will she get across to it in time? She goes to the ground again, keeps her feet on the ground. Could she catch it? It's been signalled out by Dimpers, who's the nearest player. Oh, heartbreak for Lola Dam, having taken that two-handed grab at this end. The dish from Bastien de Jong just caught a little bit too much breeze, Becky.
And that is one of the hardest plays to make in Ultimate as well, Tom. She did everything she could, got a hand on the disc, made the grab, but to keep those feet in bounds.
What heart. On a throwaway, right in the end zone. Kasparens sends it to the grass. Grut with the short field of their own to play with. Can they stuff this one in? They need to score this, and then they need to get the D-line out and put it in. Floated across the end zone. Walt Janssen takes a moment before reacting and then picks it off. Tom Blasman, the provider, on the front of the end zone. But you've got to say, Lola Dam, what a player. She's had a fantastic game here. Only the one mistake, and throwing herself at the disc to keep it alive for Grut on several occasions in that last point.
Yeah, you can really tell how badly she wants Grut to stay in this game right now. It is a game to 15, so Grut needing to go on a 3-point run now, 3 breaks in a row to win this game. But we've seen those kinds of comebacks before, so nothing is impossible here, Tom.
She plays with such confidence, but also with such a positive attitude to the sport. I was chatting to the team over on the sideline as they were watching the women's final. They were very relaxed and calm, and I said, well, who's going to be playing on the O-line? Who's going to be playing on the D-line? Atas says, I'm playing on the O-line. Lola says, I'm playing on the O-line, but I will play most points. And she has, and she's been brilliant on most points. But it's not quite been enough. Did she have her toes in?
That was awfully close, Tom. I think from my view of the replay that she might have been in on that play.
Oh, someone will make a GIF of it and share it on Instagram, no doubt. Argue about it for weeks to come. This is nice from Salaspils. Happiness. Down the line, Cirele drifting towards that sideline. Can the team from Latvia put it in for the gold medal? Otisons with the disc. Back to Cirele, flicks it around the back to Grabe. Comes across to Albertich, front corner, it's in for Salaspils. Salaspils take the gold, despite a hard fight from the Netherlands. Grut cannot do it, Salaspils can. And the gold medal stays in the north. A win for Salaspils mixed at the European Ultimate Championship final. What a game, Becky.
It was an incredible game. It was back and forth. Both teams had runs of their own. Both teams showed us what great ultimate and great mixed ultimate can truly look like here as well, Tom. But the credit to Salaspils, they were so much more clinical in that second half, and well deserved here. They're getting some love from the fans right now. An incredible display of ultimate, and congratulations Salaspils on the gold medal win.
What a game. Happiness with the 4 goals and 2 assists. Otisons with 2 goals and assists. Lasma Kublicka with 3 goals and an assist. Gussars with 3 assists. And Tom's Abeltinch with the 3 assists and a goal as well. It's been an all-round performance. Otisons not quite as dominant in this game as he was against Putti. That swing from Cirele. Albertich just drops the shoulder, swings it across. And so many times we saw Salaspils do that. They swing it across all 4 players around the backs, textbook dump and swing, create the space. And if you wanted a textbook example of how to do it, the Salaspils team have given us that all the way through this game. So fitting that that's how they choose to end it. 15-12 the final score. We'll see if we can, we might be able to grab an interview for the end of this game. But let's just spend a moment wrapping up the tournament as a whole. Becky, your first time at a European Ultimate Championship final, the experience from your point of view?
It's been an absolutely incredible experience. The venue, the volunteers, everybody here has been in such high spirits as well. The spirit we've seen across all games from teams, the respect among opponents, it's just been an absolute pleasure to play here this weekend, and amazing to be able to sit here and enjoy the end of the tournament in such exciting passion as well.
Such a clean game as well. No advisors here, no observers. It's just the players making the calls. They can come and look at the replay monitors over here, but I don't think they even did that once throughout the whole weekend. I don't think it's been needed. We've seen some brilliant action here. A highlight reel of plays, dives, throws, catches. Brilliant example of how to play mixed ultimate from both these sides. See these big shots from Baston de Jong to Lola Dam, bringing it down. Hard running from Santa Moseca to chase that disc. Big grabs from Cowmans. Mistakes forced by the hard pressure from both these teams. Thank you very much for watching, whether you've been on Fancy or on YouTube. It's been a fantastic summer of Ultimate on Fancy, and we hope you've enjoyed all the coverage brought to you. This is the end of the European Ultimate season, so I'd like to say thank you to Mike Palmer and the whole Ulti TV crew for the superb work they've done all season, to all the commentary team that have been working so hard this weekend. For Becky Thompson, I've been Tom Stiles, and we hope that you have a pleasant off-season. We'll see you indoors, and we'll see you back out on the fields of Europe for more Ultimate next year from the European Ultimate Championship Finals. It's myself, Tom Stiles, signing out, and we have got a little interview for you here now. Steph Rapazzo has got Yanis Benans and Lasma Kublicka. They're just going to get that lined up for a second.
1 minute. Less than.
Just going to see a few more of these highlights.
Yanis Benans.
So many action here.
Again,
and here's Steph Rapazzo,
Stefan Rapazzo here with Yanis Benans, Lasma Kublicka after their European Championship. Guys, how does it feel to be European champions?
Oh, how does it feel, you think? We just won our first ever European Championship. We have never played in the final before, and now we are the champions of Europe.
And we have gold medal.
Yeah, you're going to get your gold medals any minute now. Very exciting indeed. Lasma, first, tell us a little bit about the end of that game. What did you guys do well to kind of close the game?
I think we managed our offense. Defense can get the D, but struggling with getting the points, and offense get it with the second or third time, but we get it. That's the main point.
Excellent. Well, we won't ask you too much about the celebration. We'll let you guys do that yourselves. But thank you for your time. I think it's time for you to go get your medals, so get in your dark jerseys, and congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steph, for that interview there with two of the stars from Salaspils, taking home the gold medals back to Latvia. And we're saying, Becky, it's been a brilliant weekend, and we see the medalists lining up. We do hope wherever you've been watching, you've enjoyed the coverage. Thank you for taking part, and we'll wrap it up there. Thanks again to the European Ultimate Federation for supporting this live coverage from the European Ultimate Championship final. To Fancy, everyone watching at home, and to the Ulti TV crew. I've been Tom Stiles alongside Becky Thompson, and we'll see you again later. We will you later.